Welcome to module number 6. This is all about funneling traffic with domain marketing. Now, this is not something that a lot of marketers talk about, but it's a good way to generate a significant amount of free traffic, basically if you can find the right domains to purchase. Okay. Now, obviously there is an element of risk involved here. You do have to go out and spend, you can get a domain for around $6 to $7 depending on the registry that you use. That doesn't get much traffic, and then it might not be, obviously if you buy a domain that gets for $6 $7 but doesn't get much traffic, then it's not really going to be worth it. But in some cases you can go out and get a domain for $6 $7 and it can be a windfall, because there's domain traffic out there where you register a domain and all of a sudden you're getting 1,000 to 2,000 3,000 people a day based on a $6 to $7 investment in that domain. The beauty of this kind of traffic is, number one, that after you've done the initial investment of $6 to $7, it's all free traffic. And that's what makes this type of marketing, domain marketing, very, very lucrative, because you can take all this free traffic that you're getting and you can monetize with it. And especially with CPA offers. And I'll show you how there's different ways of monetizing with domain marketing so that you can decide what you want to concentrate your efforts on as far as how to control the traffic. But with CPA marketing, there's so many markets and so many niches that are available out there that it's pretty easy to find a offer that's relevant to the domain name that you've registered, whether it's a domain name of a particular topic, whether it's a misspelling of a popular domain, or an expired domain on a particular topic. You can go out there and you can find a CPA offer that is related to that domain, and that will obviously increase your chances of turning the traffic into conversions, and those conversions into nice commission checks. So let's talk about funneling traffic with domain marketing. And believe it or not, guys, there's still a huge amount of domains out there. I know that everybody talks about the fact that a lot of the .coms are already registered, and that's true. There's a lot of most of the one-word keywords or two-word key phrases for the .com, .com domain extension are pretty much taken up. But with new domains popping up all the time, there's a chance there to take advantage of misspellings of that particular domain name, and I'll talk to you about that, on how you can do that and how you can take that. It's no different than misspelled keywords. People are typing in misspelled keywords on a daily basis. So there's people who are, every day they're typing in URLs right into the location bar. And I know there's been many times, and I've done this many times, and I'm sure you've done this many times, that you might just type in a particular topic into the location bar and press .com, automatically assuming that it's going to show up to a relevant website that you want specific information on. Now, the reason why I wanted to cover this particular module in the CPA Quantum course is because when it comes to paid traffic, really the return on investment when it comes to domain marketing is probably, if you get the right domains, way, way higher. The ROI is way higher than other forms of paid traffic. As I told you, that you can go out and get a domain name for as cheap as $5 $6 out there, and you take advantage of all that free traffic and you send it to the right offer. That can add up considerably, quite a bit. And I'll show you how I'm doing that with some real examples of domains that I registered, and then kind of ponying off the traffic to CPA offers. Okay. Now, what a domain name allows you to do is to take advantage of typed-in traffic or natural SEO traffic. And basically, if you're to break down domain marketing, there's essentially two major things. Okay, you can go the route of monetizing typed-in traffic, or you can go down the route of building natural SEO traffic based on particular keywords that are in the domain that you register. You could go out there and build a blog based on that particular domain, because all the major search engines such as Google and Bing, one of the biggest criteria that they look at is the words in the domain name. So if you have a two-word key phrase in your domain name, and that's got a high search volume, and you create a blog that is related to that topic, Google and Bing will put a huge emphasis on that domain name itself. Even without backlinks, I've managed to get domain names ranked in the top 5 just because I had the keywords in the domain name. Now, I think that obviously if you guys are looking for any sort of traffic, you should seriously consider this as far as the traffic generation is concerned, because like I said, for an initial investment of only $6 over the course of the year, you can make a lot of money. And just to put things into perspective, if you were to go to Google AdWords today, and let's say you started a cost per click campaign, and on average you were paying 20 cents per click, that would mean after about 30 clicks you would have paid $60 or $6, and basically that's the cost of domain on some registrars. And on Google, I mean, that only gets you 30 people. So if you can go out there and find a domain name that gets more than 30 people on a yearly basis, then you've probably found something that's a little bit better than to advertise on Google. Because like I said, because the potential of registering a domain that gets much more traffic, there's many different variations out there that you can get. So I mean, the plan of action if you're not going to get involved in domain marketing is obviously you want to make more than $6 when it comes to domain marketing. I mean, the key there is obviously to the point that the traffic somewhere is enough that you're going to make more than $6-7 if you're going to be sending the traffic to CPA offer. But once again, I mean, the cost all depends on where you register the domain. As far as typed in traffic, I'd only register .com variations. I mean, if you're going to register names for the sole purpose of SEO, then it really doesn't matter if it's .net, .org, or .info, because like I said, Google does put an emphasis on the words in the domain and what you have on the website, really. Now, like I mentioned before, what makes domain marketing so lucrative is because there's a lot of people who will type in the domain name right into the search bar, assuming that whatever they type in must be related to whatever product or service that might be being offered. I'll give you an example. Let's say, for example, you're suffering from acne, and I mean, automatically, I would assume if I was suffering from acne, if I was to go to acnehelp.com, that would be a site related to helping me with my acne problem. Okay, so even though I might be assuming that there's going to be an acne solution there, the owner of that domain can all of a sudden now take advantage of all of this free traffic coming in. And if he or she was obviously smart enough, they would redirect that traffic to some sort of acne related offer, because if somebody is typing in the word acnehelp.com, chances are that they need help with acne. And people don't lose sight of the fact that there's millions of people who are typing in domains right into the location bar on a daily basis. I mean, you do it, I do it. That's just the nature of the internet. Now, with that being said, I mean, there's also a potential of millions of users hitting the wrong keystroke also, okay? And with that being said, there's a huge market even out there. There's a whole market out there of people who are registering misspelled domains on a daily basis, and I'll touch upon how you can take advantage of that through this particular module. Now, one of the things that I want you to do, is because I don't want you to lose focus of how powerful domain marketing can possibly be, and this was an article. This was roughly about 5 years ago, and this was about an individual by the name of Kevin Ham. And I think even now, if you type in Kevin Ham CNN Money into Google, you'll still be able to be taken to this article. And I highly recommend that you do read about this article about this guy who basically built, and at this time his domain empire was worth about $300 million. It's probably 5 years later worth probably now about $1 billion. And this was about an individual in Vancouver who basically built his online fortune revolving around just a domain name portfolio. And what he was doing was he was going out and basically registering domains, because domain names are like real estate, guys. It's like, I mean, there's people who want certain domain names and who are willing to pay big bucks for that particular domain name. I mean, the most I've ever paid, I think, for a domain name was $300 for a couple of domains I paid at that price. But I mean, this guy's built such a big domain portfolio. I mean, he's buying domains such as, according to this article, like greeting.com for $350,000. I mean, he's got this kind of money, and he's built an empire of about $300 million when it comes to. So he's considered like a domain mogul. I mean, like I mentioned, he owns greeting.com, weddingcatering.com, christianrock.com, satan.com, and god.com apparently. So these are well-known keywords and domains, and I can guarantee you there's tens of thousands of people who are typing in god.com on a daily basis. So I mean, he could take advantage of this traffic or redirect this traffic to wherever he wants. But he's not just a mogul when it comes to picking the right domains. He's also very smart in the domain marketing aspect of making money online. I mean, he's so motivated to grow his domain empire and get all this traffic. He actually flew out to countries like Cameroon and Colombia and struck deals with their governments, because Cameroon owns the extension .cm and Colombia owns the internet extension .co. So I mean, he struck deals with these governments that he would monetize the unregistered domains that ended with .cm and .co. Because think about it. I mean, you're probably scratching your head saying, well, who cares about Cameroon traffic or Colombian traffic? But I mean, the .cm and .co is not so much. He's not looking at it from the country's perspective. He's looking at it from the misspelt perspective of how many times have you typed in a domain name, a .com domain name, and you forgot you left off the M, or you misspelt the .com part and simply put .cm. I mean, he's managed to take all of this type of traffic and convert it into millions of dollars of revenue for these particular governments, and obviously he takes a cut. He takes a cut of this. So I highly recommend that one of the things that you should do, I mean, really to kickstart your motivation, is to type in this article into to Google, CNN Money Kevin Ham, and read it, and you'll really see that there is a huge market out there. And I mean, Kevin is just one of thousands of people who their whole online business is just acquiring domain names, because like I said, domain names to them is just like real estate, and it's a matter of just flipping out a smaller domain for a bigger domain and continuing to build their domain portfolio. So let's talk. The first thing that I want to talk about is keyword money magnets, because anytime you do any sort of paid traffic, and I know I've talked about pay-per-click, pay-per-view, pay-per-text, you're going to see a certain pattern emerge, and that's why I like to call it keyword money magnets. Because if you go into your Google or your MSN accounts or any of your paid traffic accounts and run your reports, you'll be able to see your best converting keywords. Okay, pretty soon you'll be able to, when you're sending paid traffic to CPA offers, you'll come to a conclusion. Well, hey, you know what? Over the course of a month or 2 months or 3 months, these are the best converting keywords for whatever offer that you're promoting. And you'll be surprised at what keywords sometimes convert very well for whatever particular offer that you're running. So now what you want to do with that information is you want to pull those keywords out that are generating you great conversions, and you want to go see if you can, number one, see if those keywords are available to be registered as a .com variation. Like I said, if you're promoting an acne related offer and you notice that the words acne help immediately is one of your best converting keywords, that might be a domain name that you want to go out and you want to register, and then maybe take advantage of typed in traffic, or do both, take advantage of typed in traffic and build in maybe a natural SEO blog really quick. And like I said, anytime that you have the keywords in the domain name, anybody searching for acne help immediately, I can guarantee you on Google, if you build out a blog, you will appear automatically in the top 10. Okay, but there's not, I mean, obviously, like I mentioned, I mean, it's very, very hard now that a lot of the .coms are already registered, but that doesn't stop you from taking advantage of the variations of that particular keyword. I mean, you could look at key phrases of that keyword, misspellings of that keyword, and also take advantage of that. I mean, take advantage of variations of that keyword, and seeing if that you can get free traffic to whatever CPA offer that you're promoting. Okay, because chances are, if these keywords have converted with you from paid traffic, then they're definitely going to be very, very popular for free traffic. Now, like I mentioned, the first thing that you want to do is you want to see if the domain name is registered. Okay, so you're going to go to a place like GoDaddy or Namecheap.com and type in those converting keywords for you and see if the domain name is registered. If it's not registered, then obviously the first thing you want to do is you want to go register it. Okay, you definitely want to go register it and take advantage of it. And there's also plenty of misspelling variations, such as www. The initial period missing domain.com. I mean, an example could be of a really messed up variation misspelling is www.bstbui.com. Obviously, this domain type of misspelling is trying to take advantage of bestbuy.com. And does it work? Yeah, obviously it does work, and I know that for a fact because I'm the one that registered that domain, www.bstbui.com, and I take advantage of. I mean, it's not a huge amount of traffic, but I usually send it to a Best Buy CPA offer, and I paid about $7, I think, for the misspelling of this of the Best Buy domain, and I only need about 6 to 7 conversions to break even over the course of a year. And currently, I was generating about 2 conversions a month. So over the course of a year, that's 24 conversions. So you can see my return on the investment of that particular domain is like 400%. So you can see the advantage of that. If you can go out, get a domain that and just simply redirect it, you don't even need hosting. I mean, if you just want to take advantage of typed in misspelled traffic, that is something that you can do. Now, like I said, many companies register common domain names and they simply redirect it to their own landing pages. So why not take advantage of typed in traffic by registering some of these domains? Because you don't only have to necessarily send them to CPA offers. You can monetize them with PPC feeds from companies like advertise.com or clickster.com or 7search.com, or even send them to other types of offers like maybe ClickBank offers. And there's even companies out there that will monetize your parked domains for you, such as there's theparkingplace.com, there's park.com. And one of the things that you can do is you kind of look for popular topics and maybe register a domain on a tagline, on a brands are a little bit more difficult to get around. I don't want to get into the legalities of that, especially when it comes to trademarks. But let me kind of give you an example. One of the things that I took advantage of, and I've shared this story a lot with people that are in my other courses or have been to my seminars. And this happened, I think, back in either 2006, I think, well, maybe it was before 2006. I think it was probably, oh wow, this is going way back. I think maybe 2003, 2004. I don't know if, I'm sure many of you guys are aware of the actress Hilary Duff. Well, back then she came out with a clothing line or some sort of line called Stuff by Duff, and I remember my wife mentioning it. And the first thing that I did was I went to GoDaddy and I typed in the domain name stuffbyduff.com, and it wasn't registered. So what did I do? I obviously went out and I registered it. And another name that she coined to her line was Stuff by Hilary Duff. So what did I do? I went out, saw that it was available, and I registered it because it appeared that nobody on her tech team registered it, and nobody on her team even registered it as a trademark. So I felt pretty good and pretty comfortable about registering it. And it just so happened to be at the same time that a department store called The Bay up here in Canada had registered the domain name stuffbyduff.ca, because .ca is the extension for Canadian domains. And they were doing a huge promotion for her clothesline at the Bay here in Canada, and there was like advertisements all over the place at the movie theaters and flyers and just on bus shelters. And they were telling people if they wanted more information about the line of clothes to go to stuffbyduff.ca. But honestly, guys, come on. .com rules. Who the heck, when they go home, remembers a .ca extension, sorry, or a .info extension or a .net extension? Everybody automatically assumes right out of the gate .com. So what ended up happening? Well, what ended up happening is people started typing in stuffbyduff.com, not stuffbyduff.ca. And that started resulting in even people who in the States who were interested in the clothing line automatically assumed that stuffbyduff.com was obviously her clothing line or the website for her clothing line. And that ended up resulting in, I think at the peak, about 3,000 visitors a day to the website, and that was after registering a $7 domain name. And I went to school with that. I just started driving the traffic to Amazon, selling in allposters.com, selling Hilary Duff merchandise, selling Hilary Duff posters, monetize it with Google AdSense, with Hilary Duff tickets, and I made a good chunk of change doing that. From a $7 investment. Ended up building a list. I think I was getting 1,000 opt-ins on a daily basis. The only issue, obviously, I had was that people thought that I was Hilary Duff, and I got inundated with fan mail, and I had to deal with all of that. I had to deal with angry emails from mothers who were complaining that the clothes were too tight for their daughters who were a bit chubby. I mean, a whole shebang. I mean, it was just an insane amount of traffic. But I'm saying that you don't have to deal with that. I mean, you could just simply redirect the traffic. I could have simply have redirected the traffic to Hilary Duff posters and just made money off of that. But I actually built a huge website out of that, and just sold all sorts of merchandise related to Hilary Duff and made a lot of money with that. So sometimes it pays to look at popular topics. But when it comes to kind of trademarks and brand names, I'd be very careful. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not giving any legal advice. At one point, Hilary Duff's legal team did try to come after me. They did send me an email saying that they were going to take legal action. But I knew that, number one, the domain name had been registered before they even registered the trademark. So I just ignored the emails. I didn't do anything, and they didn't do anything at all because they really couldn't do anything because they hadn't registered a trademark. So, I mean, sometimes you can take advantage of that. I mean, there's new sites coming all the time, like Pinterest.com. Who's to say that you can't take advantage of a misspelling of Pinterest.com and take advantage of all that free traffic and send it to CPA offers, like a generic CPA offer, like a free iPod or a free iPad, and try to see if you can make over the course of a year more than $7 or $8, which was the cost to register the domain name. Like I talked about, the misspelled traffic is huge. I mean, I've gone out now and I've registered .co extensions. I've gone out and registered .cm extensions, even though they're a bit costly. If you go to registrars, they do charge a premium for registering those non-US. They're basically Cameroon and Colombian domain names, but you can take advantage of that for a popular domain. I mean, most of the popular domains have been registered, but sometimes you can get golden nuggets if you look hard enough. I mean, this kind of domain marketing is a business in itself, okay? And like I said, take advantage of domains misspellings like www.domainname.com. I mean, and you'll get a lot of traffic. You trust me on this. You'll get a lot of traffic. I mean, I've taken advantage of a lot of misspelling and variations of even Microsoft.com and sent them to Dell-related offers and made income from there. Now, what you want to do is, I mean, if you want to build an entire business around this, what I do is you want to develop a domain portfolio, okay? And develop a portfolio of domain names that basically give you traffic. So one of the best things that I recommend that you do is you kind of set up an Excel spreadsheet, and you list the domain, you list the cost, and you try to monetize that. And over the course of a year, you list a column of the revenues. And if the revenues are greater than the cost of that domain, which would be $7, $8, then you continue re-registering that domain. And year after year, it'll provide you with a profit. But what I also highly recommend is that you don't necessarily have to send the traffic to all one CPA offer. I highly recommend that you split the traffic to various different offers and see what offer generates you the highest EPC or highest earnings per click. Because once you can find an offer that generates you the highest earnings per click, if you drive all the traffic to that one particular offer, that will go a long way towards increasing the return on the investment of your initial domain fee or the cost to register that domain. So take that, treat it like a business, guys. Treat it like a business. Keep everything tracked in a spreadsheet, and that will help you grow your domain portfolio over time. Now, building for SEO. I mean, that's what a lot of people do when they register a domain name with the keywords that they're trying to get ranked for. Now, like I said, and I've mentioned this before on this particular module, that major search engines have a preference for websites that have the keyword phrase in the domain name. And I know this for a fact that there's a huge emphasis on this because, like I've mentioned before, I have had domain names rank on the top, the first page of Google with absolutely no backlinks to that domain name. So what was powering that domain name to show up on the first page on a competitive keyword? Well, there's two things that I would attribute it to that. Number one would being obviously having the keywords in the domain name. Absolutely important. That will go a long way towards helping you get ranked on the first page of Google. And what was the second thing? Well, the second thing was building a content-laden website with that keyword thrown in to the various articles with just the right amount of times, and that went a long way towards getting the domain ranked number one on Google. So, building for SEO, obviously, go out and register domain names that have your key phrase in it, and then put that key phrase within the content on that particular website. Just to give you an example right here, at the time of this, I don't know now because I'm not sure if I'm running this website. I got so many domains. Beauty makeover contest. I think I had like one backlink going to this particular website, and here I am in the first place at Google. I mean, this is an old screenshot. I'm not sure where I am now. I'm not even sure if the website's still functional. But this was with basically just the domain name was powering this, the keyword beauty makeover contest, and here I am on the first page of Google. Now with the panda sweep and the penguin panda and penguin slap, I'm fairly certain I'm not on the first page. I haven't checked now. I should actually take a look. But just kind of, if I change the website, change it back to right now it's a static HTML website, but I'm pretty certain if I turn it to a WordPress blog, add some good content with the keywords beauty makeover contest, it'll be very, very easy to get back on the first page if I'm not there anymore. Okay. Now, if you heard a little glitch in the recording of this, it's just because I just paused this presentation because I was curious. I should have done this before, sorry. I actually went back to Google right now to see where I rank for Beauty Makeover Contest. And surprisingly, I'm still on the first page, which is pretty good. I'm not in the first position. I think I'm right at the bottom of the page. I'm checking. I'm searching from a Canadian IP address, but I can see that I am still on the first page. So I think that if I change that into a blog and move it up, that'll and add the keywords through the articles. Right now, I'm using a lot of free articles from easyarticles.com. So I'm going to change the website to a WordPress blog, and I'm pretty sure I can get in the first position for that keyword. But why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because I'm telling you right now, I think there's maybe one Squidoo or two Squidoo lenses pointing back to this domain. But because I have the keywords in the domain name, I'm on the first page, and I can easily get now into the first position, and I take advantage of all this free traffic because there are people. I mean, there's 4 million results for Beauty Makeover Contest, and there are people who do search under that keyword. And I know that I am getting free traffic because I do get people filling out the CPA offer that's here at this particular domain, and I do end up getting a commission for that. So obviously, this is something that you definitely want to take a look at and consider. Now, what's a good tool to find out what keywords to register? Well, I like to use KeywordSpy.com because KeywordSpy.com, number one, they provide you with a lot of lists for the most clicked keywords. And there's a link to KeywordSpy in the bottom of the resources section. What you'll find is that you can see what keywords are getting the most click on a daily, monthly basis using KeywordSpy.com. And you can go out and you can see if those domains are registered. And if they're not registered, I'd highly recommend that you go out and you register those domains. Now, obviously, if you're sophisticated enough where you can go out and hire a programmer to build some sort of system that'll go out there and maybe scan domains on a regular basis to see if they're registered or not, that will go a long way towards helping you find domain names to register, because you can simply register these domain names and redirect them to CPA offers, or like I mentioned before, build them for SEO. And just here's a screenshot from there. Here's keywords with most clicks per day. You can see here at the time of the screenshot, these were the keywords that were getting the most clicks. eBay at this time of the screenshot was getting the most clicks per day at a 250,000. Expiring domains. This is another avenue of taking advantage of existing websites that the owners have simply let the domains expire. And expiring domains present an opportunity for a lot of free traffic, and there's a number of reasons for that. Number one, because they probably already have backlinks to that particular domain, especially if it's an old domain. And number two, they probably already have search engine rankings for pages on that particular domain if that domain has been around for a while. And I know that some of these expired domains have great backlinks on a lot of the major search engines like Google and Bing. And you really have to take advantage of expired domain traffic fairly quick, because a lot of the times Googlebot, the Bing bot are going out and they're de-indexing these expired domains. So, but if you can get in there and you can register these expired domains, then you can take advantage of a lot of these the free traffic that can come from Bing or Google. Okay, because a lot of these domains even have deep links or deep backlinks to pages on those domains. So, how do you take advantage of that? Well, you need to basically recreate the entire site to take advantage of deep page links or backlinks. So what I mean by deep linking is that Google will try to link to particular pages that are relevant to whatever keywords are being searched on that particular domain. Now, when you register an expired domain, you obviously don't have access to that particular page or that content, because all you have access to is that domain. So, I mean, you could be wondering whatever was on that domain name. And I mean, one of the things that you could do is you could look at the cached version of that website if it's still on Google, and basically recreate that page once you register the expired domain to kind of keep it in that position and kind of get that backlink and that search listing from Google. So how do you go about this exercise? Recreating an entire site when you really don't know what was there or how to take advantage of it. Well, basically, why don't you just let the natural SEO search engines such as Google and Bing recreate the entire site for you? And how does that happen? Well, Think about it. Every day, even if the domain has been expired and they're still listed on Google and Bing, people are searching for particular topics. They're clicking on those particular search listings of those expired domains, and they're ending up at 404 pages, or simply this domain doesn't exist anymore. So why not let a tool like, there's a tool out there created by a good friend of mine, Jonathan Van Kloot, called LPGen or WPGen. And what this tool does is it will automatically create a page when somebody lands on it, even if the page doesn't exist. So it will create a content-laden page based on that keyword, even if the page doesn't create. And the advantage of doing that is that, number one, it creates the page automatically. It stays indexed in Google because the page does exist, and yet at the same time, you can start monetizing these pages with CPA offers and pitching CPA offers to the prospect when they hit the landing page. And this tool will do it automatically for you. I mean, if you could go out there and you could register an expired domain that had, let's say hypothetically, 1,500 backlinks and maybe 10,000 pages indexed, that could end up getting you a lot of traffic. But obviously, if you don't have the page, then it's going to end up going nowhere. But if you use a tool like LPGen or WPGen, that'll go a long way towards helping you monetize the existing traffic by automatically creating the page for you. So, I mean, there's just one avenue of taking advantage of a domain that's expired and literally bringing it back from the dead by recreating the pages using a tool like WPGen or LPGen. Now, if you want to go find out what domain names have expired, if you go to a place like name.com or godaddy.com, they do offer services where you can view what domain names have recently expired. Now, when somebody lets a domain name expire, generally they go into a queue for about 60 days, kind of like a no man's land where people still have an opportunity to reclaim their domain. But after that 60 days, I think it is, then obviously the domain name is purged and thrown out to the public, and whoever wants to register can go out and register. And I've noticed a lot of companies, especially when I've let domain names kind of expire, will immediately register that domain name, because at one point they assume that the domain name was registered, so there could possibly be some sort of traffic that was built to that website, and they'll go out and they'll register. And I'm sure you've been to tons of pages where you see common pictures of, like, I mean, one common picture is the schoolgirl with the backpack, and then there's search listings all listed on the site. And these companies, what they do is they'll register these expired domain names and basically send them to pages that are monetized with PPC ads. I mean, you can get some of these feeds yourself from places like adknowledge.com or admanage.com and tons of other places that will provide you with PPC feeds or pay-per-click feeds that you can take advantage of clicked traffic. But like I mentioned, I mean, there's companies out there. There's a lot of companies out there that will monetize your domains for you. All they ask for you to do is redirect your domains to their special URLs, and they will do their best to monetize the domain traffic for you. And in fact, in some cases, they'll even monetize any international traffic that comes to that domain. A couple of companies that I named were Park.com and theparkingplace.com. But guys, I mean, when it comes to domain marketing, for an initial investment of like $7-8, you can get a .com extension. Like I said, if you can get over 100 free clicks a year from that domain name, I think that'll go a long way towards helping you realize a profit on that domain and building out a domain portfolio for that. The only, obviously, the investment is that, I mean, if you have 1,000 domains every year, you'd have to pay like $9 or $8 or $9 to re-register it. So it can get costly over time. But like I said, these are assets. They're assets that bring you traffic in over time. And if you're making more money than you're spending on that domain name, it's not going to really matter if you have to pay $9,000, $10,000 every year to re-register those domains, because if they're bringing you in $50,000, $60,000, then that's a good thing. And I mean, it's all hands off too. It's not like pay-per-click where you're constantly monitoring your bid, seeing how much you spend. Once you've bought the domain name, that's it. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to wait anymore about spending any more money on that or having to buy clicks until next year. And you take advantage of all the free traffic that comes to the website. Obviously, the traffic is not as qualified as if you had bought the traffic. But once again, when it's free traffic after spending $9, it can be a very, very lucrative way of driving traffic to CPA offers and making a lot of money. Just before I leave off, there is one guy that I know that is making probably over, I think, $20 million a year because he holds a a portfolio of domain names that are very, very popular, and he's basically, and a lot of them are misspellings, and he's handed it over to a company that that I'm well aware of, that basically monetizes that, or what they actually do is they rebroker that traffic. They actually sell domain traffic to advertisers who then bid on that traffic and make money off that traffic. So he basically, it's all hands off for him. He sold the traffic to a company for, let's say, $10 million a year, and then they resell that traffic to people like me or you who want to take advantage of buying cheap typed in domain traffic. So world of opportunity out there. Seriously, consider it if you as a means of driving traffic, especially if you do have keywords that are converting well and they are not registered in the search engines as .coms. Go out there and go register them. Take advantage of that free traffic.